Welcome everybody. My name's Chester, music composer and producer for 45Y Music. I'm in CTU Studio. This is where I hang and make all the music. And then I have a co-host sometimes, but I don't see her. She's been walking in and out of the room. Her name's Fanny. So we'll be doing it without her today. We are reviewing Native Instruments, an expansion pack that came out in 2018 called Timeless Glow. It is the first sample pack that I've added to my template for this house album that I'm trying to make. And this retro house, it's kind of the vibe I'm going for with it. And it's called Walls of Gold. And it's Timeless Glow is going to be like the main, one of the main libraries that are sample packs that I'll be kind of using as I make this album. So I wanted to review it, show you my thoughts on how I've integrated it so far into production and next steps, and then I'll be reviewing a couple other packs that I will be adding to this template. The idea that I've come up with here is this little loop. Sounds like this. And when I was doing the horror album, I showed you the whole song, and I would ultimately like to do that, and hopefully I can. With this first library, I was quickly able to come up with this idea, and it will be a song because I'm trying to make a point with house music and house production, and it is to find the groove as fast as you possibly can so that you are inspired to complete the song. It's kind of a concept that I have in my brain as I'm composing and producing this music, and I'm able to achieve that in Ableton Live completely. I have stripped Maschine, the plugin, and the standalone version entirely out of my workflow. I wasn't able to get to the groove as quickly as I can here. So when I go through this template with you, there's no Maschine. I deleted it from my from this drum machines area where I previously had the plugin. I have now integrated the whole library into Live. So one of my main updates here I will show you now is I added this SP404 instrument rack. It's made by a producer named Low Heat. And shout out to this producer for sharing this packet or this rack. I believe it's free. I don't think I ended up paying for it. And it is a great emulation of the SP404, the Roland effects module. And I wanted to try this out before I bought a 404, and I'm pretty sure I will buy one now, thanks to this. And so I have this on my 2 bus, and I'll use it for performance. I'll use it for performance with my arrangement, just to make the song more interesting and give it some vibe and some flair. And the 404, I believe, has all of that to keep that retro house thing going. So shout out for that. That was the big addition to my template if you've been following along. Let's start with drums. What I've done here is Timeless Glow is now in samplers. Just throw all the kicks in here and then make sure the zone is individually set up. So now all the kicks are arranged on my keyboard, and I can go through, find the one I want, and then get the beat started, get it kicking is what I wanted to say. And get that laid out, get the foundation going with the kick. Now, I separated the snares, rim shots, and claps into individual samplers so I can process them the way I'd like. So we have a clap going here next. And now we have some closed hats here. get a nice groove going. And I believe with this, I've added the MPC swing groove to it to get it interesting. I've done a couple things in here to make it interesting. And then we got that offbeat hat that makes house. It's vital to the house beat. I like so far with this, Timeless Glow offers you a great amount of kits. If you continue to use Maschine, don't use my review for whether you can use Maschine or not. I've been using it since the first Maschine, and I've been on a love-hate relationship ever since that first one. It's got to been 10 years ago plus, and when I don't have it, I want it. When I have it, I never use it. Oh, it's a thing. But now I'm back on the let's get rid of it. But if you're using it, use it, because it's all about your workflow and personalization. I just happen to be really comfortable in Ableton, so was able to pick that up pretty quickly and get that going. And then just to hear kind of what the toms are doing, I added some toms in the beat. And a crash and a ride, just so you can kind of hear how the ride kind of sounds. And then no perk loops here, we just made this. And what I like about this is I have all of them also set up in a sampler, so maybe I want like a wood block sound with this, so I can move this around and find what I want. Maybe that just fits the mix and the sound and the groove I want, right? And then got two shakers going here because I have them all laid on my keyboard, so it's very easy to just play them in and get these sounds going. And that's my drums here, the drum groove. And I think if you get to your groove as fast as possible, that's really good. You're going to get your song. You're going to get that idea going and generated. And if you get there fast, you know you're onto something. And that's a big plus I give this pack. Let's go into... Sorry, 1 second here. My windows are all trying to figure them out. Bear with me. Dun, 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 dun. No, it's not here. Well, let's just get a new one. All right, let me look up Timeless Glow here. All right, so let's open this up. And so we have Silky Classic House, and captures a contemporary take on classic house music. And that's what got me engaged on this when I was doing my research for sample libraries and what I could use for this album. I was sold at that point. 45 Maschine kits and 50 battery kits from vintage drum machines, and they're awesome. Even the kits that are set up are really good to get you started. I was even building some of my own kits in Maschine, and they were sounding great. So if you are using Maschine and you're building your own kits, you can be pretty satisfied. Recordings of classic electric pianos, analog synths, vocals, and more, pressed to vinyl for an authentic feel. And I love the vinyl vibe that are in these sampled sounds from the get-go. I'll talk about kind of this a little bit later, but then if you read into this, it kind of gives you the vibe it's going for, which is really great. And I do believe that they, what they were set out to do, they accomplished it. And that's what's really going to help when I'm making this album, because this is the album I want to make ideally. So very happy about finding this library. And this was produced by two lovely individuals here at the studio. And I peeped the studio, and it looks pretty cool. And it looks like they're open for business. They got an awesome equipment list. So I thought that was cool just to be able to look at that. And let's see. So if you keep reading, you'll see kind of everything that's offered here. And I'm going to keep this window on one of my second screens here because I want to talk about the drum breakdown. There was 80 kicks, I read, and 58 snares, 42 claps, 34 cymbals, a lot of hi-hats. You get 119, both closed and open. There was roughly about 50-50 there. 69 percussion hits, 40 shakers, and 32 toms. And enough to get you started. I think I'll definitely be able to create the 10 to 12 tracks with that alone. But I am going to, add a couple more packs in here and have some fun. Not to mention, if you are struggling with getting started and you're just not sure what to do, you can come into the Timeless Glow folder. I moved these sounds or copied them over to my browser here. Yeah, there's Fanny. Hi, Fanny. And you can just grab like one of these drum beats, for example, here. Drag them in, and I'm going to slice them up a little bit. So I just use my slicing preset I've created. Add that in there, and then so I can delete this, and then I'm... And then I'm having fun with it, and I can switch that around and create what I want and get going, and then maybe translate that to the drum kits and the sounds. So a lot of options here to get started. So I really love that. And then let's go to the bass now. So these bass notes, I put in sampler, and you get a few here. There's more down here. We'll talk about that, but these are just the default sounds. I didn't even transpose them, and they just kind of made this cool bass line that worked with my drums. I don't think it's in the key, but it still kind of works. So if I throw this piano in here, kind of. And I left it. Now, if I don't want that and I want something in the key, I have this. And that option is Monarch. So you get, I think it said 20 Monarch presets. Majority of them, almost all of them are bass synth. So you get that like Moog style bass synth, which is pretty great. And here's some synth bass notes, also mapped on a sampler. So if I like one of them and I want to either map, transpose, and use a knob to make my bass line through transposing, or if I want to just take the sample, throw it in a sampler, create my own instrument there, and then play it out, I have those options. I just kind of do it this way to get me started. All right, and then so you get some cool long sounds. The strings sound kind of was on its own, so this is a simpler with some processing here, and I just have it as a pedal tone over the beat, and it fits really nicely. The synth pads are really awesome. I didn't use any yet, but they are inspiring, and there's a few of them. So I plan to create some of those into simplers and make some synths out of those and process them and get them going, and having fun with that on later tracks. Some synth notes that came with the jam, that's all set up there. Didn't use any because I was mainly using the keys. This guitar is kind of fun. Kind of like a lead sound. It's just the one note to kind of start that all off, but And then now we're getting into the keys, and this is where this is one of the two areas where I like what I got, and I think with a little more would have been more of a love thing, because it's classic house. Keys are a huge part of that, and I think they did a really good job with this. So this piano is really awesome, and I know there's going to be a couple pianos in the chords too, but that's all we get. I didn't hear a lot of like M1 Korg keys, that vibe and that sound. And I just think there could have been more here with piano. There are some with the electric piano. You get this one. You get this one. Let's just might as well since we're selling them. Oh, that's the organ here. Love these sounds. What you get, they did an incredible job with. Just would have loved to hear a lot more. And here's some synth chords, electric pianos. Here's one of the pianos. But as you can see, that's what you get there. And so a lot of really great sounds and chords for you to choose from. I mean, you're gonna be able to pick your own. Not a lot of piano keys that bite, that real bite attack rhythmic sound that you can get. So I'll be using this one a ton for that. No problem doing that though. These licks are pretty fun, and they'll have a vinyl. You can hear that vinyl really well on them. And I like to think of these as like little effects hits, just some ear candy when your song's going. So if you got this beat going, then you just throw in one of these licks every now and then. They're really great. This is just showing you that massive. They got about like 40 presets that come with this. So if you hit Timeless Glow here, all of these presets come with that. And I just only started mapping this out. It takes me some time to get Massive fully integrated in my browser. So, and I didn't really use it in this beat yet anyways. Vocals, you get a couple, but that's all you really need because everyone's going to be using these. So you just either find a way to make them your own or add them in there where able, or whatever you want to do. I do love the sound of these vocals. I do think that they're mixed really well, and you get a really good grit and like a lo-fi sound with them, and so they mix really well. This is where I would grade the library the least. Disappointed in the amount of ear candy and sound effects you get with this library. You get basically kind of just this one. That laser hit, and then what I like is if I bring it down, it kind of sounds like a downer. When you transpose it down. So I kind of have it set down as a downer. And then there's some stabs that I also put in effects, and I can use them as hits. Just throw them in kind of in certain areas, just like the licks. Kind of same purpose. And yeah, so we have loops, the things outside the pack here. So that's the library. I'm going to switch my grading skill to say, thumbs up instead of 1 through 5. So I give this one definitely a thumbs up because it hit, let me bring this website back in here. It hit what it's going after, and it did it perfectly. Silky classic house, captures a contemporary take on classic house music. It absolutely does. The amount of vintage drum machines you get is really great. And yes, there are a lot of really cool things to say about everything else that came with this library and the recordings. I do think that the individuals who made this library with Native Instruments did a killer job. would really love to see more ear candy and effects. I slightly want to move this other thumb up to 2 thumbs up, but I'm just not, because I will make the effects. There's so much to work here, and I'm happy with that. Time savings is kind of where I'm giving that, though, because I'm going to produce, and I'm just going to work this out. And especially with something like Maschine, making these things in Maschine takes me so much more time. And whereas I'm in Ableton and I can kick things up and get things going. So I'm pretty happy with that, and I will make quite a few effects of my own. So that's where I'm at with this library. I'm really excited to use it, see where I go with it. It's been out since 2018. I've never even touched it until now. So if you have this library and you're watching this video, give it a shot. It does say in here something about house purists, made for the house purist. And there probably is some truth to that. But if you go on YouTube, there actually have been a few hip hop producers using this library and making some really great beats with it. So I don't think it's just for house purists. I think the hip hop producers can find some gems in here, some sounds and samples and some ideas, and actually get some really cool, slow these loops down, or transpose some of these sounds down, because it has the vinyl crackle on it already. You're going to get some really cool sounds and for your beats and everything like that, just by doing that alone. So if you are a hip hop producer, don't sleep on this library either. I think you're going to have some miles to go with this library as well. And if you don't have this library, I think it'd probably be worth the $50. I would definitely say it would if you had more effects and some ear candy. You're going to have to get that elsewhere, or you're going to be making it yourself. Other than that, I do think the kits that it comes with, they come out of the gate hitting pretty hard, and you should be pretty successful hitting the ground running, whether you need to pull this into your DAW like I did, or just use Maschine. If you have it, you should have no problems. So hope you enjoy this review. If you like the content, please like and subscribe. That helps me out. I'm on Twitch a lot, where I walk through how I produce and make the tunes. Also, I'll be reviewing more libraries as we go. So thanks. Hope you enjoyed this one, and we'll see you again. Peace.